this is the easy question, but also the difficult one. Because, I was for many years studying about Italian literature, writing about that, and I was a professor in modern Italian contemporary literature. So I thought at the time, and I was convinced that the Armenian part of myself are only a private question, something to share with relatives. I had relatives all around the world, and just a few months ago I was in California and I found another cousin. And his name was Is Vartkes Ilyeyan, and he picked me up at the airport, and he told me, "I am a cousin, why not?" I said, and we made a big hug. And so I was convinced that it would be only a private question, but step by step, the old stories, the oral stories of my grandparents came back, and became so important, so deep in myself, that I was forced to write somehow. Until this moment, I only wrote about scholarly problems or research about the Italian authors of the 20th century. But at this moment, and I was, I did not dare to start, because it was, in my opinion, I told myself, another novel. We have too many novels, but I discovered that it was exactly what I had to do. And the voices of the lake Boljuk is another lake, and the little city. In my book, I didn't wrote the name of the city, not to hide it, but to propose the story of my family like a novel in itself. But in the reality, the story was about the lake Boljuk and the city of Harper in the middle of Anatolia. One of the most terrible place of deportation. So I started to write, and I was reading everything I can find, all the memories, all the memoirs, and the letters, familiar letters, and so on. But at a certain point, it was only the voice of another person, which is she, who told me from New York to Padua, I'm living in Padua, you have to start. We are too lazy, you have to start, so I started.
Okay. And you said something as you were describing the motion from basically being a scholar to gradually discovering that there was something going on. And you said the voices of the people. These are voices of people you knew.
Yes. Not exactly always. Sometimes it was only people about whom I heard. The brother of my grandfather, whose name was Sempad, the simple person who was a pharmacist in the little city. My grandfather was a different character. He came to Italy at the end of the 19th century, became a big, important surgeon in Italy, founded the school of otorhinolaryngology in Italy.
Oh,
And
otolaryngology.
yes, yes. But his brother and all the family was in the little city. So I heard about them many stories from many persons.
So you heard, basically it's, and I think this is a very powerful source. It's not the person himself or herself, it's the hearsay about the person. And these are characters that are very, very alive because you heard of them. Again, I think the word that comes to me is mythically. They acquire a mythic dimension and become almost hound you. They won't let you, and in a sense, just to go back to what the other gentleman, the Basque writer, was saying, the search for authenticity sometimes takes very indirect routes, and fiction is perhaps the more appropriate one to arrive at something real, at least that is so real to you that you cannot just do something else. Did you find that your career as a scholar was, I mean, did it hide the Armenian part of you that was trying to speak, or it was totally okay, it was a healthy relationship to scholarship?
Not so healthy. It was heavy. I had to put away this part. It was easy enough because I had many years in the university, so it was enough. But you're right, it was a little heavy. And when I heard about this program and the title Haunting the Present, this is the truth. This is the past who haunted the present.
Well, the last question that it just is unavoidable because it's also a silly question, but forgive me. You're writing about a specific place that is mythical. Did you ever visit it?
No.
Will you ever visit?
No.
Okay.
No. 3 years ago, but I have a little story which is amusing. 3 years ago, a journalist of a big Italian newspaper, the most important, I must say, came to me and asked me, called me and said, my director told me to go to the Skylark farm. Where is she? Where is it? And I told him, you will not find anything there. I said, I have to go. So we spent 3 hours together, and I told him everything I could say, but not the place, because when the brothers Taviani made the movie, they invented a farm because. Or in Italian, I told the right title is Masseria, which is a fortified farm, to tell the truth. So he went there and wrote a wonderful article, I must say, and saying that he didn't discover anything, but only little ruins, little walls, and the quarter of this city which was haunted by ghosts.
But why did I know that when I would ask you if you had gone back, you would say no, and that if when I asked you that will you go, that you would say no emphatically? And maybe why is that? Why are you giving me an emphatic no?
Because I know many people went there. And I have tales about, but above all, because I think I will discover the nothing there, and in this place we as Armenian people we lived for 3,000 years, so to discover the nothingness is something that I will not have experienced.
Which brings us to Gabriela, what she was saying, that the fact is that writers dump all the stuff on paper, and sometimes real life experience becomes, sort of takes a back seat and becomes less important, less visible, less interesting, maybe. Okay, thank you. Thank you. And now, Philippe, you're the last one. I want to say that I first discovered Philippe, as everybody has, because of his film, which I have to say I've watched many times, and even though I know the ending every single time, but I know, I love the film. How many of you have seen it? Oh my God, not enough for you. You have to see it. I Loved You So Long. Is that the title of it in English?
Yes.
Yeah, and it's a lovely film. My favorite actress is in it, so why not? Okay, Kirsten Scott Thomas. There's an article about you, or somewhere it says that some of the pervasive influences on you are Coetzee and also Bernhard Schnick and Kafka. Is that true?
It's not true for Kafka.
It is not true for
No,
Kafka.
that's true for Kafka. Kafka, it's not my favorite. It's work, yes. It's not my favorite writer. I appreciate the universe, but I prefer. I know very well Kafka with a movie from Wales. You know,
Orson Welles?
Attention.
Sure.
And I have to confess that each time I try to read Kafka since my childhood, I sleep immediately. I don't know exactly why. It's a problem of translation.
No.
It's a little boring to me, you know? Except maybe one short story. The title in French is Le Terrier.
Burrow. The Burrow.
The Burrow?
The Burrow. It's an
Wow,
amazing
huh?
short story with the protagonist is maybe a mouse, maybe a fox
Yeah.
in underground, you know, and totally paranoid and obsessed by the neighbor, and it's amazing text. But the famous novels like La Métamorphose,
Metamorphosis.
etc. It's not my cup of tea. Sorry.
No, don't be sorry, please. We have good taste. It's all
It's
right.
not,
Some of us do not like Kafka. He's probably one of the more overestimated writers, I believe, but that's a different issue.
maybe I'm stupid, maybe it's rejected, you know, that, I think for me the problem is just the style, you know, style in French. It's a little bit boring and it's not a wonderful style. And when I am a reader, I appreciate very much the style of the novel. And it's impossible for me to appreciate very well